Hey, good afternoon, everyone. This is Rob Crete from CTA, the president here, coming to you with a short message. I'm here today with
Stephanie Baxter Jenkins, your executive director, and this is our social distancing video. We're trying to keep our appropriate space apart while we bring you some important information.
Hey, the first thing that's very important to us is that you guys are staying safe at home and doing what you need for your families. So that is our primary concern.
Second, the biggest concern we've obviously heard people raise is around pay. And so I do want to let you know that after talking with the superintendent and his cabinet today, he has confirmed we do expect we will be paying all of our full-time and part-time permanent employees through the end of the school year. So that is great news. What I am going to ask you is to be a little bit flexible as we work out the exact details on how certain employees are going to be utilized in a remote setting. Obviously, we know our teachers right now are doing e-learning, and we know that many of our paras are supporting that, but we have some other clerical and para staff who may have some remote tasks and some tasks at school buildings. We're working out those details with the district now, and we'll have more information for you as soon as we can. But again, we want everybody to be flexible because we are dealing with a little bit of an unprecedented scenario here.
Now, we here at CTA have been working throughout what was spring break to help you guys, and we want you to know that there was a lot of wrangling that went on to make sure that this week was held in a way where you guys can kind of wade into the waters of e-learning, which I know and recognize as a classroom teacher has been a little difficult for everyone. But what I'm asking everyone is be very patient with it and immerse yourself in it. This is the autonomy that you've always wanted for your classroom. We no longer have our exams for the state, so now it really is time for us to dig into our curriculums and do what's best for our students. So I feel really good about the things that you guys are already doing, sharing and collaborating with all of our members.
That actually leads to a great question we've gotten from a lot of people, which is knowing that the state has canceled the FSA, are we going to have EOCs or end of course exams here in Hillsborough County? The answer to that right now is we're in a little bit of a wait and see approach. The district is waiting for some additional information from the Department of Education and the governor's office, and I think our answer to that is going to depend on whether we are able to go back to school in April. So we should have more knowledge about that fairly soon.
In terms of the delivering of lessons, there are a lot of different things that you can do. One thing that we would say is make sure that you're logging into your EDSB or your Clever accounts each and every day, so that lets the district know that, hey, we're in there and we're doing our jobs. Now, what you want to do with your assignments is really up to the educator and what you feel like your students need. For example, with Zoom, you can choose to use Zoom or you can choose not to. You cannot be required to use Zoom, but if it works for you in reaching your students, by all means, use Zoom, as well as other different online means that are available to us.
The main thing in our conversations with the superintendent and other cabinet members downtown, EDSB and Clever are obviously our main resources, but they want you to feel free to use whatever you think is going to be the best scenario for the kids you're teaching. And provided you're making sure every kid is connected with that learning, whatever it may be, or on whatever platform, there's no problem with what you use.
We are currently working with the district of what it's going to look like in terms of attendance taking and the record keeping that you're doing. Right now, the only thing you really need to do is make sure that you're keeping a contact log. When you're meeting with a student or you're meeting with a parent and you're contacting them either through email or through phone or video, make sure that you're documenting that somewhere. That's the most important documentation that you should be taking at this time.
But for the most part, as the district refines where we are in terms of e-learning, the goal is that classroom teachers are not keeping lengthy logs or having to do a lot of work. It's going to be up to you, in essence, on a weekly basis to be making sure kids are connecting with learning. And that could be through them interacting with you on a live Zoom. It could be that you can see they watch the video later. It could be that they're interacting with you by doing their assignments and handing them in on EDSB, or that, again, you see kids watching the videos you put out or using the pieces you can use on Clever. The goal here, we've got to have enough information to show the state that kids are getting continuity of education, but the goal is not to make things crazy for all of you. We do know that everybody's got enough on their plate just in transitioning to a whole new way of teaching.
There is no expectation that kids are going to be in front of a computer for 8 hours a day. There's no expectation that you're going to be in front of a computer for 8 hours a day. However, it is expected that you are checking in with your emails, checking in with ESB, and you are throughout the day checking in and seeing what the students are doing and what needs to be graded or communicated with.
And again, there's going to be a little bit, e-learning is different than the kind of things you do in a classroom every day, and so one of the things that you're going to have to be a little bit flexible on is, depending on the family situation for different kids, it may be that you have to be a little more flexible than you would be in grading. So if you normally do an in-class activity, since every kid may not be able to be on the computer right at that time, you may have to do an activity you can grade over the course of the evening or into the next day. But again, goal being that kids are getting learning and we're being flexible in whatever their family circumstance might be to make sure they have time, the time to do the projects and whatever they need in support from you.
We recognize that there have been a lot of questions and maybe not a lot of answers so far, but we're getting closer to all of those answers for you. To that end, we want to communicate more with our HCTA members, and we're going to be setting up a Facebook Live event each and every week.
Yeah, on Tuesday nights at 4:30, we think we're going to do, unless we hear from you, it needs to be later. We're going to look to every Tuesday night do a Facebook Live on the Hillsborough CTA Facebook page. We will tape that so we can then share it on YouTube as well as Instagram. And it'll be the kind of place where you can come and ask us questions. We're also looking at whether we do some Zoom meetings that are for our reps and membership, and we'll be contacting you all about that too. The key piece we want you to know is that while this is a crazy time for everyone, your HCTA staff is working really hard for you. We have a lot of our staff working remotely, but they are taking calls and emails. And so again, our situation has to be a little different with our switchboard. If you get a message, just let them know who you are and what school you're from, and they will forward that to your cluster reps. Or you may get a person. We just don't have multiple lines coming in when we forward the phones to someone's house. And so we're doing all weekend to get answers and working with the district every day, multiple times a day. Again, make sure you reach out to us and we will do everything we can to help you in any way we can.
Our email addresses will be attached to this video as well at the end, but please keep doing what you can for your students. We appreciate everything that you're doing, and please be safe. Thank you very much.